Keto simple syrup. The concoction begins with water. It's best to use the purest water available, distilled water. But he spilled it everywhere, so filtered water it is. You could boil the water, but he prefers to add enough to his kettle and set it to heat. Then he grabs his scale, and using a snap cap bottle like this one, he places it on the scale and grabs a funnel to stick down its neck. He grabs his erythritol sweetener, something like Locanto monk fruit sweetener, or Swerve. He pours it through the funnel into the glass cage of emotions until he has 100 grams. If you don't have a scale, simply use half a cup. He needs 1/16 of a teaspoon of xanthan gum. However, he doesn't have a 1/16 teaspoon. So, he sets his bottle aside and grabs a piece of construction paper he stole from a preschooler. On this, he places a 1/4 teaspoon of the corn byproduct. Then, using a straight edge, he separates the powder into half and half again. Cautiously, he grabs as much as he can and adds it through the funnel of steam. The paper is then creased and the remainder is deposited back. 400 grams of erythritol would require 240 milliliters of water, or roughly 1 cup to completely dissolve the sweetener. However, he adds less water than required to demonstrate what happens when chemistry happens. Since the erythritol alone will not get us to the required sweetness, he turns to the use of liquid stevia. Boop! 8 drops per cup of water is all that's required. He caps the bottle and gives it a little shaky shake. By not boiling the mixture, it's less cleanup for him and, well, no ants. You can see the erythritol crystallization on the bottle's bottom. The mixture is saturated, so to fix he simply adds more water. Instead of being exact, he eyeballs it and will add more stevia after if necessary. Another small rattle and roll, and onwards he goes. Version 2 is a simpler recipe, but costlier because it requires the use of allulose, also known as the psychos. He pours the fine powder, which often clumps, so he simply pierces it with the back of the teaspoon. He adds 228 grams or 1 cup. Then, using a rusty razor, separates a 16th teaspoon of xanthan gum. He adds 228 milliliters of water. This recipe is akin to regular simple syrup, with a 1-to-1 sweetener to water ratio. He places the cap ever so gently and gives the mixture a shake and a swirl. If the xanthan gum has not dissolved, you can do the following. Using a tall container, dump the syrup in. Then, using either a whisk or the mighty hand blender, whisk the syrup until there are no more floaty things that resemble a lion's mane jellyfish. Then, simply replace the viscous syrup into the container. The xanthan gum is what thickens the liquid and mimics the so-called mouthfeel of the regular simple syrup. Making sure to get every last drop, he verifies the bottle is securely capped before performing a swirly swirl. The last step is a simple act of labeling the bottles. This prevents mix-up with any other liquids for roommates. And now that you have simple syrup, make sure to subscribe and watch how to make one of these amazing cocktails. And until next time, eat well and drink responsibly.